We're going to have a look at the census returns. Those start in 1841 and go through to 1911. Those are the ones that we can actually view. As you all know, we've just filled out a census just recently, and that's exactly the same kind of thing. So even way back in the 19th century, the government was trying to capture the same kind of information. So it wanted details of names and ages, relationships, employment, and also places of birth. So although the census forms were probably very much shorter in the 19th century, they do try and capture the same information. So for us, they can be very, very useful because it lets us see who was living in a property and where they come from.
Yes, and so then we can use that model, if you like, to then have a look at the kind of people that might have worked and lived in and around the village and at the school.
That's exactly right, because the school took its pupils from the village. We saw that in the original conveyance. And so in the census you find all the children listed, and it will often say scholar. And for any child under 14, you can be pretty sure
that's where they
went to the village school.
At Broadwell,
So that's really brilliant. So I've looked at the 1891 census, and I've actually found that there were 2 teachers.
Oh, working at the same time?
At the same time. There were 2 people who were described as school teachers. Now, there's this lady here, Minnie Eden. Now, she was unmarried.
Right.
And she was 28, which is relatively young,
yes,
I would think.
Yeah.
And she's described as the school mistress.
I see.
And I suspect that because she was living by herself, there was nobody else in the house with her, that she was actually living in the schoolhouse. So she would have been the main teacher,
yes.
I would have thought.
Yes.
Now, she was local in that she was born in Gloucestershire.
Yes.
She's actually born in Chipping Campden.
Oh, really?
So not a great distance away from Broadwell. Now, very interestingly, there was another teacher who was listed in the census for 1891. She too was unmarried, and her name was Rachel Moss, and she was 40 years old, so very much older. She's described as a school teacher rather than mistress, and I wonder if there's some kind of subtle difference
in the job descriptions and the status.
Yes. And I think she was certainly living with her parents, so she certainly wasn't living in the schoolhouse.
Okay.
And she was completely local. She'd been born in Broadwell. And both her parents were Gloucestershire people. One had been born in Evenlode and the other in Wick Rissington. So a strong local connection there.
Fascinating.
But that is just a sort of a sample, really. And the census is right through, certainly from 1861 to 1911. You should be able to find details of the teacher.
Yeah.
1851, it's a little bit questionable because it will depend when the school, in its present state, in present position, was actually open, because the census was taken in the first part of the year. It was taken in March. So if the school wasn't opened until later in the year, you wouldn't find a school teacher actually in the schoolhouse that we're looking at.
Oh, I see. And actually these records that I've just seen you run off, these ones just here, the people that would visit, if they could come along and visit the records office here, it's as we've said before, it's totally free, and there's just the parking of £2.50 to pay. But they would get assistance on how to use the equipment and then help.
Yeah, or you don't need to come into the archives to actually look at these, because a lot of them are available through websites.
Oh, really?
You can use the Ancestry website or the Find My Past website. They're both subscription sites, so if you want to use them at home, you will have to subscribe.
Yeah.
But the local library service in Gloucestershire pays for a subscription to the Ancestry website. So you can go into your local library, or come into the archives
and use it for free.
Use it for free.
And I suppose it's, if you're not very confident, then just having somebody near
Yeah.
to just ask.
Yeah, certainly the staff in the archives are always happy to help.
Yeah.
And we have some buddies who can be booked, and those are experienced researchers
Excellent.
who will who give up a bit of their time as volunteers to
Yes.
help somebody who's just starting.
Yeah. Okay.
In the library service, I think you might find that they run little taster sessions for using the internet, and they also have computer buddies. So you can, again, you can get help.
And it's free internet access as well at the library.
Yes. At the library, you probably will have to book a machine. In the archives, you
Okay.
don't.
Okay, thank you very much.